Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Darren with the Garrison Public Affairs Office, and this week we are talking with the Garrison Family Life Chaplain here at Fort Cavazos, and this and a lot more on this week's episode of the Great Big Podcast.
Hello and welcome back to the Great Big Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Eric Franklin with the Garrison Public Affairs Office, and today we have three individuals from our Garrison Chaplain Office. Gentlemen, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I am Chaplain George Tiger. I am currently the Deputy Garrison Chaplain for Religious Leadership and soon to be the Deputy Director of our Chaplain Family Life Training Center.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Timothy Wan. I am currently working as a Deputy Director for Family Life Training Center, and as of April, I'll be the Director for the Family Life Training Center.
Okay.
And hello, my name is Dan Bowen. I'm the Family Life Chaplain for the Garrison.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for coming on. We know that you guys are super busy. So real quick, I just want to know, tell me what the Family Life Chaplain Center is.
So I'm gladly be able to talk about that. And a lot of people don't know about this. You know, because of the name Training Center,
Yes.
they wonder what that is. It is a pastoral counseling center. So, I would like to brag about, our center a little bit.
Okay.
Currently, we have 14 major chaplains who's going through Masters in Counseling program through Texas A&M.
Okay.
And that these individuals, as you can tell, that they are seasoned chaplains to begin with because they are in the rank of major.
Okay.
So they are been there, done that, guys. They provided pastoral care for last at least 10 to 15 years
Okay.
before they get picked up to go through this program. And they're all here. And they are going through, the family life training to become a family life chaplain. That is a very special skilled chaplain ministry that in the chaplain corps right now. Yeah.
Okay. So these 14 chaplains, they come from, or they're not all stationed here on Fort Cavazos. They're coming from all over the Army?
Yes. So for 18 months, they're going to come to this place, and then they're going to go through the master's program in counseling through Texas A&M. And also, they're going to be providing counseling to our community
Okay.
to include our soldiers and their families, DOD civilians and their families, and the retirees and their families.
Okay. So now that we got that out the way, before I usually like to ask and just get to know whoever's coming on the podcast. Gentlemen, do you mind telling me, like, where are you guys from in the world?
Sure. Well, originally I'm from New Jersey.
Okay.
Grew up in New Jersey. Was in the Army from 1985 to 1989. Got out, came back in as a chaplain in 2007.
And just real quick, I also like to ask, so what was that moment that says that you want to provide that spiritual guidance, come back into the military and provide spiritual guidance for soldiers?
Yeah, it's hard to identify a single moment, but throughout my career as a civilian minister, which was about 13 years,
Okay.
I really found myself drawn back towards the military because of the kind of personality style I have and my love of being outdoors and being very active. I really felt like I had the skill set and the call to serve in the United States Army far more than I had a skill set to serve in civilian ministry. And it just got to the point where I decided, you know what, I was about 40 years old. The time came when I was either going to pull the trigger or not, and I decided I was going to do it.
Okay. And you've loved it ever since?
And I've loved it ever since.
Okay. And for you, sir?
Yeah. I'm an immigrant, a first-generation immigrant from South Korea.
Okay.
So I came to America in 1983. I was 13 years old.
Okay.
And, my father is a pastor, so I guess I inherited my family business, so to speak.
Yeah.
So when I became a pastor, I was searching for opportunities to learn more
Okay.
And my church senior pastor was a retired National Guard chaplain, and that he told me all about how great the opportunity is for me to join the Army and learn how to be a good leader and organization skills and also physical fitness. There are so many things that you can learn.
Yeah.
It's like, I like that. And then that was 2001.
Okay.
And then 9/11 happened, and I knew that, God was calling me into the chaplain ministry. So
Okay.
that's how I joined. Yeah.
And for you, sir?
Yeah, I grew up in New York and felt a call to ministry when I was a teenager. My pastor was also influential in my life, and he said, go to Bible college, right? So I walked that route, realized, hey, I need a little bit more money to do this.
Okay.
And then I considered joining the Army. My dad had been in the Army a little bit, had a good experience there. So I enlisted from 97 to 01.
Okay.
And I was actually stationed here at Fort
Oh.
Hood. And I worked for 2 years in this building down at the chaplain's office because I was a chaplain assistant.
Okay.
So I really got to experience ministry in the unit and
Okay.
with soldiers. I served with many great chaplains. I had such great chaplain examples for me. And I always thought to myself, if I ever come back in the Army as a chaplain, I had some great examples in my mind from my past. Lo and behold, long story short, came back in 2011. And it's been a real privilege to go through the program that Chaplain Juan was sharing. And so I graduated last year, and now I'm the family life chaplain here.
Okay. So, speaking of the family life chaplain, sir, tell me a little bit more about the training that these 14 chaplains that you have. Do you have a class in session now, or?
So we have 3 separate groups.
Okay.
So we have cohort 24, 24 Bravo, and cohort 25.
Okay.
So they go through, as I mentioned, the Masters in Counseling program as we speak. So they go to classes, and then they have to study hard to earn that degree, right?
Yeah.
And also they go through special training, and this is like hidden secret that I want everybody to know.
Okay.
Because our chaplains are trained with very special training called emotionally focused therapy.
Okay.
And also EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. And also they get trained for play therapy and Centray. I know that sounds
it's a lot of words.
It doesn't sound much right now, but EMDR, a lot of people in the social works, behavioral health world know what that is.
Okay.
That is a very specific technique that we utilize to address traumas.
Okay.
So like a PTSD or assault, childhood trauma, all these kinds, we are able to provide treatment, very effective treatment for issues like that.
Okay.
And our chaplains are equipped with those special skill set. And also EFT is emotionally focused therapy that is gearing toward couples.
Okay.
And it is a world-renowned technique that has a 90% success rate to improve marriage relationship. And let me talk about play therapy and the Centray.
Okay.
We have a lot of children on post, and because of frequent deployments and all these hardships that our children go through, and we have that capability to take care of our children. Play therapy is like utilizing some of those figures, toys, whatever the objects that we can use to bring out what's really going on inside in our children's heart. We can kind of make that eye-to-eye contact at their level so that they are able to communicate what's really going on inside, and as a result, bring healing not only to the children, but then bring healing to the family as well. So these are the stuff that we provide for the community, and I want the whole community to know about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for you two gentlemen, tell me, you both have been through the program. What is it like? What is the key takeaways for you guys?
So when I entered that program in 2016, graduated in 18, and I really didn't know what to expect. And as I went through the program, I began to recognize that program, we train clinical professionals to be professional marriage and family therapists at a really high level, at a master's degree level. But we are able to pull in our experience as chaplains and our understanding of spirituality and theology to provide an even deeper experience for those who we counsel. And as a graduate, we give all our graduates the skills and the education they need to become licensed marriage and family therapists. All three of us in this room have gone through that process to become licensed therapists. And so I didn't understand that clearly when I came in, the level of clinical training I was going to have with all the academic training plus over 500 hours of clinical experience sitting with couples and with individuals and with families doing counseling. And to go out into our Army community with that skill set has been a tremendous gift for me, but I hope a gift to the other people that I serve. And I know Dan right now is having the kind of experience I had when I first went out into my utilization tour, which I would love to hear about from you.
It's absolutely a privilege to get this kind of training. And like Chaplain Tiger mentioned, we come to therapy and to become therapists through the back door. We start out as chaplains, and then we've arrived into a community of mental health providers. And so there are various mental health providers. There's social workers, there's licensed professional counselors, there's psychologists, there's psychiatrists. So we're part of that chorus, being marriage and family therapists. And when I've rubbed shoulders with others from that community, and I tell them what I've been trained on through this program, through this training center, they're jealous. They're like, "Hey, how did you get that training? Can we get in on that?" And I've been able to work in conjunction with our embedded behavioral health. And they give me a call every once in a while and say, "Hey, Chaplain, we have this soldier that we think would benefit from the training that you've had through this EMDR, the eye movement desensitization and reprocessing."
Okay.
And so I've been able to, I feel privileged that I got this training, and then I'm able to pass this along to help a soldier or a family member, and do it all in conjunction with the behavioral health teams. So I just feel like I've got this training and this privilege. I've got to give it away. I've got to share this.
Okay. And sir, I know recently I spoke with the 3rd Cavalry Regiment. I know that they're getting ready to deploy here in the next couple of weeks or so. Can you just tell me how do you approach families dealing with, I mean, I know it's not it's a deployment nonetheless. Yeah. It's not a deployment as it was, maybe 10 years ago where it was back to back. But how do you guys in your training, how do you approach that when it comes to talking with families about deployment?
Yeah, deployments, they are important, but they can be very disruptive to the life of a family. And so one of the things that we work through in terms of emotionally focused therapy is opening up those lines of communication on one level, right? But there's an emotional communication that happens. And sometimes communicating our emotions to one another might be difficult and challenging for some individuals.
Okay.
I remember I had a couple, and I was trying to explain to the wife that sometimes soldiers have a little bit of difficulty expressing their emotions.
Just a little bit.
And I said they usually have only 2 emotions, anger and happy.
Yeah.
And the husband chimed in and he said, "No, sir, it's anger and more angry." So we work with families to give them the language and help them, coach them, resource them, and connect them together to help build that emotional bond.
Okay. And, you know, I know you guys, with the Chaplain Corps, it's all denominations. So it's not just one particular faith. How do you guys incorporate your faith and your faith background when it comes to the diverse population that makes up the Army?
I try to understand where the individual derives their sense of meaning and purpose in their lives.
Okay.
And some people have a very theistic, Christian-centered sense of meaning and purpose. And where I find they have a strength in that, and it gives them peace and gives them a place to go to, then I work with that with them. It might be somebody else who comes in and they may be from a different faith ground, or they may be non-theistic, but they still need somewhere to find a sense of meaning and purpose and the belief that they are part of something larger than themselves. So I work with where they are at to help bring them to a place where they can integrate that into their lives. I'm very careful not to push my own personal sets of beliefs on that person. I'm happy to share what I believe, but I believe it's really important to bring out what their strengths spiritually are.
You know, sometimes people misunderstand that if they go to see a chaplain, just any chaplain, they have to have a religious conversation. They don't have to have that religious conversation. And if you don't know this, chaplains have confidentiality.
Yeah.
So we don't say anything to anybody. So that's really important for a soldier, especially a soldier in a unit, right? They're dealing with some stress. Maybe it's stress that comes from the unit or comes from home.
Yeah.
To be able to have a chaplain who they can share that burden with. But again, it doesn't have to be a religious conversation. And so sometimes that confuses people.
You know, so I served in the military for 14 years, and I had a plethora of chaplains. And every chaplain that I ever had, especially while we were deployed, they'd be like, hey, yeah, just come over to the office. Like, they always had the best candy. They always had the best food. They always had the best books. I don't know how they got the best books, but 90% of the conversations that I had with the chaplain was not religious based. It was just like, hey, let's talk. I remember one time we were in Afghanistan, and the chaplain, he worked out in the gym more than anybody else. And he was just like, hey, yeah, just come talk to me when you're in the gym. And, you know, it was never, looking back on it, I realized that, he was doing his job. I didn't realize it, but he was doing his job. He was just checking on everyone. And he'd sit back and he'd talk to everyone in the gym and still get his reps in. But he managed to meet us where we were. And I think as a soldier, and then just now as a person, I think when someone meets me where I am and doesn't try to push me one way or another, especially when it comes to religion, I think that's the best part. So I love that. That's, how both of you guys see it. I think we're running a little short on time, but before we get out of here, I just want to ask, looking towards the future, what are the goals and aspirations in the Garrison Life Chaplain Center that you have? And then I know you guys both have other goals, but for you mainly, what is the goal for the Garrison Family Life Chaplain Center? Training center, sorry.
So annually, our center provides more than 5,000 hours of counseling.
Okay.
And that not many people know that, we are providing that much because, we have that capability. And we have that capability to do more. And I know that during this time of, deployment and all these, anxieties, going up right now, and we are ready to serve the community. And I want everybody to know that. And, we are in the business of, bringing hope, no matter what situation that we are in, our soldiers and their families are in, there's always a hope. Mm-hmm. And that we want to send out that message. Change is possible, and there's a hope in every situation. Yeah.
And for you two gentlemen?
I want to be careful because Tim's going to be my boss, so I don't want to step on. And I also want to say that you will not find the best candy in my office, but you will probably find some really good cigars.
Okay.
But like Tim, I think what I want as a goal as the incoming deputy for my time there is to really raise the visibility of that center as a clinical behavioral health center that can truly change lives and make a difference in the Fort Cavazos community, and build the readiness of families, not just to be ready for the deployments and everything else that's going on, but to be ready for whatever life throws at them so that they can be whole and healthy and happy throughout their lives, whether it's their lives continue in the Army or they get out in 5 years. I want them to remember that that place was a place that gave them healing and hope.
Okay.
Let me caveat to that.
Okay.
That, we work side by side with, hospital, behavioral health, and all the social workers, and we are right alongside, and that we are doing this together. I just want to, emphasize.
Make sure you hammer that home.
Yeah.
Change,
I know
changes,
that was a hard one
yeah,
to
no,
follow.
I'm gonna nest in what they're saying, because hope is really important, especially when it comes to change. Change is hard, right? We change all the time in the Army. Deployments, PCSs, you got change of commands, right? And then you have changes of dynamics in relationships.
Okay. Yeah. Work
Right?
relationships.
Work
Family,
relationships, families, there's fighting, there's all sorts of change. And when you experience change, sometimes it can be really hard. But then also that change might be required in my life, because what I'm doing right now, doing the same thing over and over again, right? With trying to think of different results or hoping for different results and it's not working.
Yeah.
I need change in my life. Something's not working here. And you come in a very vulnerable place to a chaplain therapist and say, I need help. That's a very tender place to be. And so I count it a privilege from my training, but I want to also extend that hope to that individual that change is possible and that you can get through this. And it's really important that you've reached out, and I'm glad you reached out and you're brave, and we can get through this together. That's what I want everyone to experience when they come in my office.
Okay. So I know that everyone has a chaplain down to the battalion level, but if they wanted to get a hold of the Chaplain Family Life Center, how would they go about doing that?
So we have we have a phone number that all the battalion chaplains have,
Okay.
and we make contacts with all the behavioral health facilities, and that they also have our information. So we do a lot of referrals, and
Okay.
we work with one another, and we really share the burden of load, and
Okay.
that we serve the community together.
Okay.
And one of my jobs as the family life chaplain here at Fort Cavazos is not only to counsel people, but to train those battalion chaplains and to help increase their pastoral skills and their counseling skills. So we all work together, and we work with the battalion chaplains so that if they feel overwhelmed by maybe some soldier that needs help beyond their skill,
Yeah.
they can just bring them on over. Sometimes I'll have the chaplain come with too, and we'll all have conversations together. And that way there's a learning environment for the chaplain, but help for the soldier and the family.
Okay. Before we get out of here, is there anything else that anybody else wanted to mention before we get out of here?
If they're really looking for us and they need to find us, there's this great machine called Google.
Okay.
Put Chaplain Family Life Center, Fort Cavazos in it, and that number will come right up, and they can give us a call.
Okay. All right. Well, I'd like to thank you guys for coming out and joining us, and we look forward to having you on the podcast again.
When new soldiers are assigned to your unit, get to know them. Show them around.
The exchange, health clinic, fitness center, whatever.
Encourage your soldiers to grab meals together and talk about their lives. Shared hardships and life experiences build cohesive teams with fewer instances of suicide, sexual assault, and drug abuse. And units that are ready for the fight.
I am always, I'm always surprised at how many resources, programs like the Family Life Chaplain offers here on Fort Cavazos. Hey, you guys, this is Janice Wright from the Garrison Public Affairs Office.
I was just about to ask, who is that talking?
I don't even know who that was.
Yeah, I do too. I know like we cover a lot of them. We cover them a lot, but I think we could cover them a little bit more. So we'll get with Sam and see what we can do because they have some cool stuff coming up.
They do.
And yeah,
They
like I
do.
say, I like talking with them, and they're cool guys. They were a cool cool unused resource that I don't think a lot of people utilize enough.
Absolutely. And speaking of resources, there's lots of resources available on the installation. First, of course, scholarships. Everybody needs that money to go, and we have a lot of it to give away. So the application for scholarships for the 2023 and 2024 scholarship season ends February 16th. Now, if you guys remember, a month ago, we were, prodding and prompting and encouraging you to jump right on it because that deadline would approach soon, and it is almost here. So scholarships are available to high school seniors and military spouses for all eligibility requirements, and to apply online, visit fortcavazosscholarship.org/apply. And remember, that deadline is February 16th.
Get on it.
Not too far away at all. It's like right here now.
Speaking of staying connected, I know the next one is kind of near and dear to someone's heart in this office.
Who's that?
That's you.
Oh, man. You talk about the Cavazos connector?
I am.
Yeah, well, hey, y'all. The beta test launched this Monday, and it's been a rapid week here, but the new microtransit service here at Fort Cavazos launched, and it allows users to use not only the circulator route, but it can even allow you to get picked up from your barracks. So you got to download that application and see where those buses are at, and even call a ride directly from that Barrack Zone 1 to allow the hop to test to make sure that the actual system, the application, and the routes work.
Yes.
All 5 zones will be operational at the grand opening on March 2nd.
And there's going to be a lot of stuff going on March 2nd. I hear.
Absolutely. March is shaping up to be busy.
I mean, they call it March Madness for a reason, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
That fare-free system allows offers curb-to-curb service within the designated zones. That circulator route stops along 28 designated stops on that circulator route that will prevent you from using your 2 old feet to get to where you need to go. So if you want to hop on that Cavazos connector, be sure to utilize it. 'Cause like any Army resource, if you don't use it, you lose it.
I like how you said hop.
He jumped right over that.
Yeah, I mean, the hop, it's the hop.
I caught it.
Yes.
Not the holiday hop anymore, but it's now
it is.
officially
It is the hop.
full-blown, the Cavazos
Oh,
connector.
no, this is sounding like it might be giving Lyft and Uber a run for their money, except for it's, specifically for the installation.
Cavazos. And that's pretty cool, though, because
Yes.
I think one of the things that soldiers don't realize coming from training installations is those training installations are made walkable. So they can walk to almost anywhere, like Fort Moore or Fort Eisenhower. You can walk anywhere you need to go. Here at Fort Cavazos, it's a little bit different. Yes, you can walk, but that 5-minute walk is now probably a 15-minute walk. So I think it's amazing that, we're trying this out here
Absolutely.
at Fort Cavazos.
It's great.
This is a game changer, y'all. So operating hours for the Cavazos connector during its beta testing is 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. on weekdays and 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. on weekends. For more information, go ahead and follow us on Facebook and all our social media platforms, and stay tuned to the Sentinel post as well, both on digital platform as well as in print, because there's some good information in there you want to follow, right, Janice?
Absolutely. Darren, did you say that that's going to be working this weekend?
We were going to follow up, but we believe that it is. And
It is. It is.
Okay, so that means that soldiers could, have fun at Super Bowl, have a little
Exactly.
beverages and not have to worry about driving back to their barracks. So this would be the perfect opportunity to test out the Fort Cavazos connector.
Exactly.
Yes.
And speaking of being connected and having wheels,
Oh, man.
Hot Wheels, the Fort Cavazos Directorate of Family and Morale, Welfare, and Recreation, that is so long.
I cannot say
Annual
it.
NAV,
cannot.
that stands for Non-Appropriated Funds, vehicle auction bidding began this past Monday and runs all the way through February 19th. The vehicle viewings will be Saturdays and Sunday during the auction. For more information, call area code 254-423-8888. 8498, or you can visit CavazosArmy.com to see all the vehicles. And I'm telling you, you can get up there and you can go find a vehicle. I brought my first vehicle there, neon. It was purple, but I'm telling you, this was 20 some odd years ago, but I'm telling you, if you go out there, you'll find something.
Hey,
you might
this
be able to
could
find
be
something.
your opportunity to score some wheels for a lot less than you would normally pay. So it might be worth checking out if you're in the market for a new ride.
And speaking of new deals and keeping everybody in shape and getting everything dress. See what I did there?
Ooh,
Love that.
man, Segway master over here.
I'm trying. We have a new store, a new concession inside of the main exchange. It's called Tops Dress Blue Setups. It just opened up January 30th. So that was last week. Was it last week? Man,
Yes.
it's already the middle of February
Yes.
almost.
It was over almost, yeah.
Darren, you don't
A
know,
week
but I
ago.
do this almost every month while I complain about how fast the weeks are going. It just seems like it's going.
And it's just going to keep happening.
We barely got over that physician's assistant stuff, and now we're getting good talking about time. It's
exactly.
hard.
Every week
Life's
it's
rough.
something. But the new Tops Dress Blue setup is inside the Fort Cavazos Exchange clothing store. The store gives soldiers at Fort Cavazos additional guidance and support with their uniform inspections and setups. Tops is located at the Exchange Military Clothing Store and is open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday and 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturdays. For more information, you can call the shops at 254-349-3721. I said shoppers. I don't know why I said that. But you can call the shop.
6721.
That's what I said.
You said 37.
Okay, well, I'll say that again, just to be on the safe side. If you want more information, you can call them at area code 254-349-6721. Is that better?
Absolutely.
Okay, then.
That's the number.
Well, just making sure. Because I forget what I say as soon as I say
Yes, we want
it.
to make sure they have the right contact information.
Yes, we do. And so, what are you guys doing this weekend besides watching the Kansas City Chiefs lose?
Is there anything else to
Ooh,
do
man.
this weekend? Come
Put it on
on.
down.
I have got my whole setup ready to watch the Chiefs do their thing. Of course, I will be also, floating around covering all of the great festivities we have going on the installation
That's
to
pretty
make
cool.
sure soldiers get to enjoy the game as well.
That's pretty cool. Are you going to try to ride the hop? The Cavazos
You
connector?
know what? That is not a bad idea. I like the way you think, Eric. Maybe I will hop on the hop.
See, you could park at one of the locations and you can just ride the bus on out.
I could, because there's a couple of little events that I'd like to, check in on. So I might
circulate.
just do that.
Circulate. What do you have
just
going
putting
on
it
this
out
weekend,
there.
Darren?
Well, I was debating going to watch T-Swift, but that's in Japan, so I didn't
Yeah.
want to run the risk of missing the game,
Yeah.
She's running that risk pretty close, that's I don't
Super
know.
close.
That could be a tight timeline. But I think she's going to work it out. She's got private aircraft and stuff like that. I think
Yeah.
she'll be okay.
You think she's going to make it?
Oh, she'll make it, I'm sure. For sure.
She'll make it.
Yeah.
Positive.
Yeah.
Now, if it was on the East Coast, I would have to be like, I don't think so.
Well,
But
if
It's
it's
on the
going to
West
help
Coast.
my Chiefs do what they need to
No.
do, I welcome her presence.
No.
I sense.
If it's going to help Travis, Killer Trav, help him focus,
No.
catch, get the downs, get the yards, I welcome her presence. Whatever it takes is where I'm at.
my head is shaking. You can't
You know,
see it, guys.
all
but
the
it's
Chiefs
shaking.
fans that are listening, they feel me right
Come
now.
July, you'll be able to see it.
Yeah. Yes, this is true. Coming in July, we are aggressively working to bring you guys a video podcast. We don't know how it's going to exactly look. Get it? We're going to video podcast. It didn't work, but we're going to bring it to you, and it's going to be live. We're going live with that in July. We are working on it, and it's going to be great. I think you guys are going to really love it. The crew here have been working really hard, vigorously trying to figure it out, and I think we're going to get it, and it's going to be great.
I think it'll be a treat to see our smiling faces. Don't you guys think that?
Not mine,
yeah.
but everybody else's.
Man.
Okay. Well, my smiling face. I
Exactly.
guess I
There
can
you
only
go.
speak for me.
There you go. Well, I guess that's about it. We want to thank you guys again for listening to us ramble here. We enjoy what we do for you guys. And if you guys have any ideas or topics, there's a bumper at the end that you can listen to, and you can send us an email. It goes to our boss. So make sure you tell us that we're doing a great job, because sometimes she listens to the podcast and sometimes she doesn't. But anyway, thank you guys for listening to us, and we hope you guys have a great weekend.
Safe
You
weekend,
guys enjoy the Super Bowl safely. Ride the hop. You can enjoy yourself and you don't have to worry about driving or walking.
Bye.
Later, guys.
Bye.
This podcast is a U.S. Army Garrison Fort Cavazos and Fort Cavazos Public Affairs production. Have a question or want to share some of your wisdom with us? Drop us an email at fortcavazos@gmail.com. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Fort Cavazos Army. And as always, be sure to leave us a review and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.